Hey, I wanted to show you what the process is like to set up a drone and how quickly you can get up in the air and start mapping your area. So first up, I'm going to just set up the drone. It's pretty quick. It takes just a few different steps. First is getting the propellers screwed on right. A little bag full of my propellers. They're pretty easy to go on. They spin in opposite directions to make sure that they stay on during flight. So there's just a unique way that you need to spin them on. Super easy to get used to though. Once they're on, tighten them up, make sure that they won't move around in the air. I prefer to use what's called propeller guards, which actually help ensure a little bit more safety in case there's some error during flight, and make sure that the propellers can't physically touch anything. They'll actually run into these propeller guards before they're able to actually make contact with anything. So it's a little bit extra time to set it up, but it's definitely worth it. Now we have our battery attached. It's a battery that'll last about 20-25 minutes. So I'll put that in there. And we have our controller, which actually works just with a cell phone or a tablet. You can actually just slip it right in here, and this will be your monitor during flight. Okay, so just like that, you're all set up, and I'm gonna go and get it online. So as you know, to do proper home inspections, you need to have a great view of the roof to see if there's been any damage from any strong winds or hail or mold perhaps. So what we want to do is be able to take drone technology and make it able to detect these things that normally a human would have to go up to do. So to do this, we take high quality aerial imagery from vertically above the structure. What we're actually doing is we're flying a grid-like pattern to fully cover an area. Whenever you're flying lower to a structure, your field of view isn't as wide. So stitching the photos can be troublesome sometimes if the focus of, if your subject, your roof, is very monotonous in color or texture. So what you want to do is have a lot of what's called side lap and front lap. What we're doing today is having 80% side lap and 80% front lap. So every row and column has 80% coverage, or duplication if you will, to the row or column next to it. Doing that by taking a lot of photos means that we have a lot of data to stitch together a single high quality, super high resolution image of your roof. From that, you're able to take insights and use computer learning to make decisions that'll help your insurance professionals approach the customer with actionable insights and help you get that sale. The demo we have for you today is of the sports complex. It has a total volume of 5 acres. We're going to be flying at about 90 to 100 feet above ground, and that's going to give us a resolution of 0.5 inches for every pixel. So every half of an inch in real space, so roughly about a centimeter, is going to be represented by 1 pixel in the final image. So that's going to give you a really high resolution image of what's happening on top of your roof. It's going to do a pre-flight checklist. It's going to make sure that the GPS is turned on and it's got at least 7 satellites, which it does. It has 9, actually 12, sorry. It currently has 12 satellites. It's just making sure the controller is switched in the right position. It's checking all the waypoints that I've predetermined. It's making sure that the camera has an SD card loaded, and it's checking all of its user-defined flight limitations. So it does this pre-flight checklist automatically, and it makes it really easy to get you up and going quickly. I'm going to hit go. It's going to take off automatically. So right now the drone is flying up to its predetermined 100-foot height. It's going to fly to the first position of my predetermined flight path, and then it is going to automatically fly back and forth in a grid-like pattern to fully capture our area. Okay, image capture has started. It's taking a photo every 2 seconds as it flies. What's fun is we're actually going to be in the final image, so we'll get to see that later. So it sets a waypoint for the next corner in the grid-like flight path. So it goes to each point, turns, flies to the next point, and then turns and flies to the next point, and so on and so forth. We have a display up here on our side showing our battery, our height, our speed, the distance away from home. So we have a lot of control over making sure that we keep a lot of safety around. Safety is, of course, #1 priority. So it's really important during the flight that you just make sure you have a visual inspection of the drone in case it does start drifting or it is about to hit a power line or anything that you may not have thought ahead of time to watch out for. It's good just to make sure you have a constant eyes on the subject while you also have a live video feed on your mobile device. As far as camera settings go during the flight, it actually just takes full control of the camera. So it's exposure, it's aperture, it's white balance, it's ISO, sensitivity, all of the components that make a nice exposed image, it's doing fully automatically. So it's really, really simple process. So we've ended up taking 161 photos of this 5-acre plot of land. The drone has completed its mission, it's stopped taking photos, and it's coming back home. You can see right up here, it's actually flying up overhead. It learned where its home point is, and so it's gonna come directly right back home and land itself. Okay, fantastic. So we've gathered our images, and now it's time to take it into the software so we can stitch it all together. So here we are in our software where we stitch the images together. I wanted to show you what the flight plan looked like before I flew. So here I've duplicated it into another session for your viewing. So you can see here is the path that the drone flew along, these green lines here. And it just continued to fly along this path over and over until it reached the end. And then of course we saw that it flew home automatically and landed. Next up, I can show you the completed stitched imagery that we made. So here on the outside, you can see existing Google satellite imagery, and on the inside, you can see where we flew our path. First up, we have a 2D map, which is just a simple RGB image that is a master image that is stitched together from all the individual tile imagery. And as I said, here you can see Mark and I as we were demoing the plan for you guys. But also we're able to see the roof in detail, and we're able to see the little chairs over here, and everything comes across in a lot higher detail than we get from existing Google satellite imagery, as you can see. Next up, we have a plant health view. This is actually used for agriculture a lot, but it's something that we want to implement as a solution for the roofing inspection. And it actually detects where organic life is and colors it in green. So you can see here along this tree line is all in green, and inside here where there is the sand volleyball court is in red. So it detects what's organic life and what's not. Third up, we have the elevation report. So you can actually see darker spots are higher and lighter spots are closer to the ground. So what we're able to do here is we can even go in and see roof slopes based on the gradation and the elevation reports and use that to further provide insights. And lastly, we have the 3D model, which is a really, really cool tool to use. Even though it's just a drone flying up above and taking images looking down, it's actually able to render out a 3D model of your subject. So here we have the 3D map that's rendered for us here in the browser. And so it's really, really neat. You're able to fully circle around the entire subject matter that we photographed. And you can even zoom in and see detail on items. If I were to come in here. Now with this imagery available to us for analysis, our plan is to run it through Watson's image recognition and analysis software to be able to recognize defects in the roof and to be able to provide the inspectors with actionable insights so they can approach customers and make the sale.